Kansas City Chiefs versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers reaction. The Chiefs versus Bucs game. This was my favorite game of the week. This is the one I was looking forward to the most. And I really love the Chiefs. The Titans versus Colts matchup. I like some of the matchups early in the day, but this is the one I was waiting for. I wanted to see how the Kansas City Chiefs competed against a team in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that I think is built to make a championship run. And in the first quarter, I gotta say, there was no answer. I'll criticize Bowles on this, defensive coordinator for Tampa Bay. The game plan just to basically put, that poor defensive back. I've never watched a game and felt as bad as I felt for that defensive back covering Tyreek Hill. To leave him basically on an island, single high safety with Tyreek Hill, that might be the first time that teams have really done that as a strategy this year. It will be the last time. That was a massive mistake. So once that happened, and at the end of the first quarter, he had 7 catches, 203 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He was on pace for 800 yards and 8 touchdowns, Madden on easy level. Kind of statistics there. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they adjusted to their credit, and they do have a really good coaching staff there. It was just, I think, a poor game plan, or at least poorly executed game plan to start with. You just can't leave somebody on an island against that guy. It's just Tyreek Hill is just way too fast and way too quick. In today's NFL, where you can't really just body check guys like you could in like the 80s and 90s and stuff, and before then, it's just not going to work. Once they adjusted, then you saw Travis Kelce start to get more in on the action. And basically, by the end of the game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were double covering Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. And what happened is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won basically the second, third, and fourth quarter. The score for the rest of the game was 24-10 Tampa Bay. And that includes some massive mistakes by Tom Brady as well. So I will say this. If the two teams matched up again, I think this would be probably a field goal game again. Obviously, Kansas City at the end of the game, they were just trying to run out the clock rather than score. So, if the Kansas City Chiefs were down by 4 points and needed a touchdown, maybe we would have seen the Kansas City Chiefs play a little bit differently in the fourth quarter, rather than just trying to nurse the lead. But I give a lot of credit to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their adjustments, and they're 7-5 now. I still think they're going to be a safe playoff team. In the NFC, I think it's wide open. I don't think that they match up well against the New Orleans Saints. That division matchup, it's not going to be great. Once Drew Brees comes back for the playoffs and all that stuff, I just don't like the matchup for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I don't think there's another team in the NFC that would really give Tampa Bay problems unless, of course, Tom Brady beats himself, which he has been doing as of late. Let me just start with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers statistics here. So Tom Brady went 27-41, 345 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. At least one of those, I think, was a bad interception. Ronald Jones, meanwhile, I think he had one massive run called back or something like that, but he was 9 carries, 66 yards for 7.3 yards per carry. The other one was the long catch. 1 catch for 37 yards and the touchdown. Mike Evans, 3 catches, 50 yards, 2 touchdowns. Godwin had 8 catches, 97 yards on 9 targets. Gronk had 106 yards and 6 targets. So this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team offense was moving the ball. The whole problem was that first quarter. And I don't even want to say they came out flat. They just had an awful matchup, and it took them, 2 drives to figure it out. And once they figured it out, they kind of ratcheted them up. What I'm a little bit concerned with the Kansas City Chiefs, and this is a great win, so I don't want to take anything away from them. What I am concerned about is once Tampa Bay double covered Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill and basically left everybody one-on-one, nobody could beat them. And I think maybe what the Kansas City Chiefs could have done is try to isolate Edwards-Helaire a little bit more in the screen game and stuff like that. Again, the Kansas City Chiefs at that point were in such a commanding position. They didn't really have to show a little bit, any more than that. They could kind of run a vanilla playbook and just kind of kill clock. But still, Pringle, Hardman, Watkins, they had their full assortment of receivers, and on 1-1 matchups, they couldn't outdo the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So credit the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for adjusting. If they were to play another game, it wouldn't shock me if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won this game. I did pick Tampa Bay to cover the spread. I can't remember if I picked them in an upset or not. I believe I did, so, Kansas City Chiefs fans, you can bang on me for that. But they did cover the spread, and, if they had another quarter to play, there's not to say that they couldn't have come back and won. But, man, I don't think Tampa Bay or any other team certainly this season will make the mistake of trying to play one-on-one against Tyreek Hill again. That was just madness. Now let's see here. Kansas City, the statistics. So Mahomes played another great game, 37-49, 462 yards and 3 touchdowns. Edwards-Helaire only 11 carries, 37 yards. Really, again, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You don't really run on them. Nobody ever does generally. So not a lot there. 3.4 yards per carry I think is actually just fine. Le'Veon Bell adds 5 carries for 22 yards. Tyreek Hill, like I mentioned, he had 203 yards in the first quarter and 7 catches. He finished with 13 catches on 15 targets, 269 yards, 3 touchdowns, including at least 1 grab in that last game-sealing drive. Now, okay, so you take the first quarter out of it. Tyreek Hill in the last 3 quarters catches 6 balls for, 66 yards and no touchdowns. So Tampa Bay did adjust. Again, though, well, I should take that back because he did catch that 1 touchdown deep. Although the Tampa Bay cornerback, I can't remember, was it Jackson? But Bucs fans, you can comment below and tell me. I just can't remember the poor guy's name. That throw was a perfect throw, and I got to say the guy was blanket coverage. It's just he didn't get his head turned around in time because it was a bullet pass by Mahomes. So I'm not going to kill him too much on that. He was actually where he was supposed to be, but it is what it is. Travis Kelce adds 8 catches on 8 targets for 82 yards. And then everything else is kind of disappointing to me. If you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, 4 catches on 7 targets for Sammy Watkins, 38 yards. Demarcus Robinson, 5 catches, 36 yards. McCole Hardman, 3 catches, 23 yards. Pringle almost came down with the ball, but he didn't. He had a target. Le'Veon Bell, 2 catches on 2 targets for 10 yards. So outside of Tyreek Hill absolutely blistering Tampa Bay in the first quarter, it was okay. And I say okay, I'm talking okay for the Chiefs standards. I mean, for every other team in the league, it's a really good week. But outside of that Tyreek Hill thing, I don't know. So, if this is a Super Bowl matchup, if this is a sign of something that, if we get this rematch 10 weeks from this week, 10 weeks from today, if you're catching this on Sunday, I think this would be a great matchup in the Super Bowl. So very cool, very fun game to watch. Chiefs fan, nice win. Comment below. Do you think you'll be able to catch the Steelers? Tampa Bay Bucs fans, let me know. Do you think? I don't think you'll catch the Saints at this point. Haven't gotten 2 wins with Taysom Hill, the running quarterback, but I still think they're in the playoffs. So what teams scare you in the playoffs? And then Chiefs, let me just finish out the schedule here because we'll see what happens with the Pittsburgh game if that actually does get played against a backup quarterback and some backup running backs. But next week the Chiefs have the Broncos. They have the Dolphins the following week. I think the Dolphins could give the Chiefs a little bit of a matchup problem. If the Chiefs come out and sleepwalk, I mean, certainly the Chiefs are better, but if they sleepwalk against the Dolphins, I could see them getting lit up there. Then they play the Saints. That'll be an interesting game. I think Breeze will be back for that. But really the Dolphins and the Saints, those aren't gimmies. But then they finish with the Falcons and the Chargers, 2 teams with nice offenses that you can also kind of overlook at times. So interesting. I don't think any of these teams are walkovers outside of maybe the Broncos if they're playing their practice squad quarterback. But the Chiefs should easily beat the Broncos. We'll see what happens against the Dolphins. Make sure they show up on the road there. And at that point, you should be 12-1. We'll see what the Steelers do. The Steelers have kind of a tough draw, so I do think that they can be caught. So we'll see. Anyway, that's it for the reaction video. I appreciate everybody watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you on more reactions soon. Thanks, everyone.